Now, would you like to push the button on my headset? The one on the top.
What do you do I have to hold it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to another how-to and review. In this episode, we're going to be taking a look at the Ryobi One Power Auger. There's actually two models of these, which I'm going to talk about briefly. We'll go ahead and open it up and do a quick demonstration with a clogged drain that I have. So before we get started, let's go ahead and click that like button and subscribe for future content. It really does help out the channel. So anyway, I picked this up, it's actually the second time I bought this. I bought this, ended up not needing it, and returned it. I got another clogged drain. I decided to go ahead and take the plunge. There's actually two models of this Ryobi. There's the there's the P4001, which is what this is. And then there's also the P4002. The primary difference between the two is in the O2, this is removable, and you can also take the drum out. That's really the two big things in this. I believe they're both 25-foot reinforced cables. And price difference, of course, is about, I bought this for about $80, and I found that the P4002 is about $150, $160, so almost twice as much. And I think for the casual person just using this, this is probably going to do most of your needs, if not more. Now, if you've had a drain clog before, there's a lot of different things you can do. You can get the, whatever the stuff you throw down, whether it's Drano or some other type of liquid clog cleaner. I've used those to varying levels of success. One thing I'm always hesitant about with those is you never know what that's going to do to your plumbing inside your house, and you never know really where that's going to go to once it goes down into like a local sewer treatment center. Can't imagine it's good. So in the end, what's the most effective is really just trying to clear out that drain. And there's usually a couple different areas you get drains, obviously sinks, bathrooms, and usually downstairs, like near a washer, dryer, or something of that nature. In this case, that's where mine is. It's a utility sink down in my basement that gets fed into by the washer and dryer, getting filled up with tons of husky hair and everything else that Maverick likes to leave on our clothes and everything out their house. Sometimes I joke, Pepper and I joke that, we live in a house of fur and we could probably make clothes out of the fur that he sheds everywhere. So just one of the thrills of having a husky. So anyway, let's go ahead and tear this open. So let's go ahead and get my toolbox here, grab out a quick knife. I picked up this Craftsman toolbox, I think it was about a year ago. I love this thing. Should do a review on this one of these days. But let's go ahead and take this open here and see what we got. So quick little description out there. You can see it does 2-inch pipe, 25 feet of cable. Standard Ryobi box. Open this up. Pretty well packaged, actually. We ordered this off of Home Depot. Came within a day or two, actually. Here's our instructions. By and large, I find the instructions are relatively useless. No offense, Ryobi. For the most part, every now and then there'll be something good in here. But for the most part, they're not that great. And let's see, 1+ system. So we can see here's our feed. This obviously probably is going to pivot between in and out. And actually this is in and out. So the question is, what is this? Oh, I think this is actually the lock. So once you get this into a certain point, you lock this in. It's not going to extract anymore. And you can just go ahead and pull this out. So let's go ahead and grab one of our batteries. A lot of different batteries here. Let's start out with our 4 amp hour. This battery is probably about a year and a half old. Still going pretty good. And let's start pushing buttons, see what happens. Oh, that was quick, wasn't it? All right. So you can go fast, you can go quick. I'm thinking if I push it this way. Nope, didn't do anything there. So maybe do you have to hold this to get it to work? Interesting. All right, so let's go ahead and tear into this. So running through this, you know, I actually have to do a second take because I had to go back and actually watch some videos on how to use this and try to make my way through this manual. This manual, as all Ryobi manuals are relatively useless. It sort of tells you what this is. You know, I think what makes Ryobi manuals terrible is there's no pictures for the most part. I mean, they include this, all this literature, but there's nothing in here to actually visually show you how to do this, which I think picture says 1,000 words, right? So from what I can gather, first of all, a couple things. You can see if my hand in there, that is filthy. This is all covered with grease, so just be aware of that. You can already see, I don't know if you can see that, but it's already getting all over this thing as I go through. So anyway, I put in a Ryobi One Plus battery. This is the feed in. So if I push this, let's go slow. It'll push it out. So I'll turn the other way. Now this is the clamp. What this will do is if I loosen this up, this will allow it to go back and forth. You can see it's sort of going out, but you can see I don't have the auto feed in, so I can actually manually pull this out if I want. To do that, now to actually make it engage, you have to hold this clutch in, which in essence you're going to need 2 hands for this operation. You can lift this up, push in with this auto feed, and that way you don't have to do that. So at least there's that. And you can see what the clutch, what this basically does is this is clamping it inside here, which extracts it and detracts it. If I turn that back off, you can see what happens. This lowers. Can you see that? So when it lifts up, this allows it to kind of go back and forth. And I guess it's working on the curvature of the spline or spring here. This right here, if you can see that, it actually says clamp on there, so this will let you know the clamps. One thing too that I noticed going through is there is a drain over here. So if you get water in here or you have to use this, you can go ahead and open this up, in theory, and let water out. Ooh, it's in there tight. There we go. So you can see that lets the water out. And that's basically the brunt of it, right? So let's go ahead and hit that drain. All right, so this is the filthy drain in question. And basically this feeds in from my washer dryer. This is my basement, my little dungeon down here. Most of these sinks that are like this will have some type of disconnect. If you can see that, that's right there. So I'm going to go ahead and unscrew this. And a lot of times, I mean, you can go ahead and try to feed it in through the top. It's just easier to take the bottom trap off. Now obviously you want to let this dry out if you can a little bit. Otherwise you're going to have water coming down fast and furiously here. Alright, so now we got this out. Now we can see, we can turn, I don't know if you can see that. You can go ahead and we can turn this off like this. And sometimes cleaning this out actually will clean out a lot of your mess, because a lot of times where everything gets trapped is right in here. All right, so the first thing we want to do is take a look in here. And if I look in here, this thing, absolutely fine. There's nothing in there. You know, it's a little nasty, but you know, other than that, it's relatively clear. Which means if I have a clog, it's going to be somewhere in here. So I'm going to want to feed this in and go from there. So let's get to work. Actually, first I'm going to pull this out. So I could go in slowly if I wanted to, or I can go until I find some type of resistance. I'm not feeling, oops, I hit something there. And again, that could be the end of whatever this is, or it could be a trap. So let's go ahead and I'm going to pull this in just a little bit. Take up the slack. We're going to lock this in. So now it's not going to fall. Alright, so at this point, we're going to go ahead and try to pull it back. Alright, so nothing new is coming out. So, overall, I mean, the thing is working as it should. Is this going to clear the drain? Well, probably not, but we're going to go ahead and take another look. Trick with any clog is patience and kind of just following the problem. So we didn't really find any clogs there, so we went to this next kink here. Going to open up the back, and we're going to try to feed into here. Whew, really need to clean back here, don't I? This is just a giant mess back here. Alright, let's just go ahead and get to work on this. Now we're going to try to, I can definitely feel something here. Oh, we are getting some gunk now. We have to take these out of here and clean these out later, I guess. Well, you can see we got our clog. And it is nasty. Now, one thing that you're probably going to want to do, which I did as I was pulling this back out, was using some type of paper towel to sort of clean this as you retract it back in. You're going to want to take this out and clean this out thoroughly later, right? Now, it's a good thing you can't capture smells well on YouTube, because this is smelly. All right, you can just see all the black gunk and everything else. I'm going to take all this stuff and just throw this away. All right, so we got the drain out. Here, you want to come take a look at it, Pepper? So this is a stopper, it goes in the back trap. You can see that down there. And what this does, this just goes in to seal this up. Turn that to tighten it. You don't want to tighten it too tight. Obviously you want to tighten enough so it's not going to leak. But you don't want to make it so tight that you're never going to get it off again either. All right, I think that's going to do it. Smelly, huh?
No, your hand.
There we go. All right, so now I'm trying to teach Pepper here to be a plumber.
Then you should have invited me at the first.
Probably.
Then.
So this goes here. Probably want to turn it the right way. That would help. It should go pretty free.
Now please note, is lefty loosey instead of righty tighty.
I know, like I did at first.
Yeah.
All right.
Which I think is common in plumbing.
It's common in pretty much anything.
What, go lefty loosey to righty tighty?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think plumbing.
Anything. Alright. And I think that's as far as I want to go. Now, you're going to want to line this up.
Facing north.
And this, you're going to line it up, and once you get that there, you get this up, and this clamp will take it the rest of the way. And again, you don't want to make this so tight you're never going to get it off. Just tighten enough so it doesn't leak. And again, you know, I think a lot of people say the drain's in here, but I rarely ever see a drain in this part of the trap there. It's usually somewhere down the line or something like that.
You mean the clog?
Yeah, the clog, I guess. Yeah,
The whole thing's the drain.
The whole thing's the drain. Usually the drain's not in the drain. Usually, yeah, the clog usually. Everybody says get here first, but that's usually, I don't know. Usually that's not that bad actually. All right, so now it's time for the moment of truth. All right, well, we'll go ahead and we'll go and invest it. I know you're expecting so much more, huh?
Real. Everybody, this is what old soap looks like.
Well, normally the sink is clean.
Just not when it has a
So-
clog.
That one has a weird clog. Alright, well, we're going to see if this drains down or not. Hopefully it drains. Actually, I think it is draining. I can see it going down. See that little white mark right there?
Sure that's not some sort of confirmation bias Mandela effect?
No, I'm seeing more and more white. That's good. We've made progress.
Sure.
Don't knock it, it's good. So as I mentioned there, this actually ended up draining it out just fine. We just had to go actually, I think, just push the remainder of it through with just a couple plunges with our plunger. You can see now, turn this on, and this drains away no issues, which is completely awesome, and saves me an expensive bringing a plumber to do it myself. Cleaning drains like this really isn't that terribly hard, as long as you have the patience to kind of go through and find your drain. And obviously use the right tools as well too. Alright, so basically if you're faced with a drain that won't drain, there's a lot of different options you have, obviously. You can try using Drano or some kind of drain clog remover with some type of acid or lime or whatever. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. One chance you are making is that it could damage your plumbing system. If it's right below where the trap is, you could use something like this to kind of try to fish out what's in there. And actually these are good especially for you know, if you're in the bathroom, maybe you got some hair in the drain. These are good for fishing out like stuff that's right at the base there. What I used to use for a long time was something like this, which basically is a long, I don't know if this is 25 or 60, could even be 12 feet, I don't know. But basically this is a manual version. You hook up to the end of a drill, if you could see that there. And you would basically put this in a drill, do it in, and you're good. The downside of this is that it's pretty unwieldy. You gotta, and you can imagine if your clog is pretty short in, you got to deal with all this extra stuff here as well too. So these have their limits. You can get the manual drum kit, which sort of looks like this, right? You can buy these off of Home Depot or Lowe's or your local big box store or local hardware store, and you kind of just drum and feed it in. It does the same thing. But I ended up deciding to splurge and get this thing after eyeing it for a while, and you know, I gotta say I'm pretty pleased with this. It works pretty well. Instructions are absolutely terrible. Go watch some videos online like this one or other ones. I wish Ryobi would just work on improving their instructions. I think it would go a long way. And overall, I think it does pretty well. Hopefully I don't have to use this too much. But if I do, this is something I think I can manage as well. And I think what this really played in really well, which is why you need some type of, like, whether it's something like this or something like that, when you do get that really, you know, serious drain that you have to go through, it really helps to have some type of power machinery that's really going to keep on working and working until something finally breaks through. The downside of that is because you know, if you go too far, I guess you could theoretically damage something as well too if you try too hard. But overall, I would say for the money, at 80 bucks, this is definitely worth the buy. Give it a thumbs up, maybe even a thumb and a half up. I don't know if I personally would ever upgrade to the P4002 for twice the money at 160. I just don't think the value's there. Unless maybe you're going to use this all the time. It is nice to be able to pull this out. It's nice to be able to pull this head out. I'm not sure that those two features alone are worth basically double the price. I think that's Ryobi gouging its customers. One could argue that they should just maybe charge $100, $20 more and include both, but maybe they're losing money on that, though I don't think so. But overall, I gotta say it's a pretty good device. Really appreciate it. And if you did enjoy this video, please go ahead and click like and subscribe for future content. It really does help out this channel. We try to upload as often as we can while working a full-time busy schedule, and enjoy trying to bring videos like this to you. So until we see you again in our next video, get out there, make your own great outdoor adventures. And as always, take care.